I know it's not long since I did a garden video, but I thought things are moving so fast. Those potatoes have grown like mad in the last few days. And these plants we thought we'd lost, look, they're growing quite well at the moment. And again, I forgot the name and Pauline knows and she'll put it in the comment. Look at all the muck on the floor. We're feeding those blackbirds. I've shown you that clip. And yesterday we were out. They've been in my potatoes, look, shook the soil all over the place. Do you think they've gone a bit mardy? You do feel like that, don't you? And I think this is working now, this solar fountain. But these flowers are a bit dashed with all the rain we've had. And of course, the grass is growing like mad. We did have a disaster because this broke. I don't know whether it was the wind, but it ripped. All this part of it fell down and I've had to try and tape it up, look. I don't know what happened there. I think it was just the weather, it was so windy. But this is growing well again. But look, I found a slug in here. It's decimated that daisy there. But the birds have been in here as well, shuffling around, look. I hope they're eating the slugs. There's Wendy's geraniums. We've just put those in. And these bushes are all growing quite well. Look, some nice colours there now. And the clematis came out. But I think the rains, they put paid to that. Let's just have a look. Yeah, the flowers they've been knocked to bits. Well, you can see one there. Well, things are growing well, aren't they? Just show you how clean this pond is. Now, I've got to clean the filter again, but it's clearing the pond. Well, I'd say, look, you can see the bottom, but as soon as the fish know you're here, look, these things we could eat for England. But I noticed you could see the bottom. Look at him. Right, let's show you up the garden. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see, but I've put the strawberries in some bags, look, that we were sent. They're brilliant, they are, Catherine, they're great. I think that works, but we've not had the plague of slugs we normally get. I have found a few, but they seem to be alright. There's one or two not in bags there that I've missed, and I think something's pecked that through the wire. You can't win. It's our fault for feeding the birds and bringing them in, isn't it? There was one right next to me just now, a blackbird. I don't know whether you can see him. He's in my beans, look, rubbing his beak on the wood. But the beans are coming up the poles. I mean, they weren't very good, those beans, but these were growing all right. There's the blackbird. He's just gone off. We put some water out for him, but since I put that water out, it's done nothing but rain. They've dug one or two of my beans up as well. Not many though, but they're going up the sticks. This needs deadheading again, this rose. But this bit of rain has worked wonders, hasn't it? We did need it, really. There we go, look. The birds have ate that food already. A couple of minutes and they'd demolished the lot. As soon as you open the door, they see you and they're here. I think we're feeding them too much. Anyway, let's look in the greenhouse. There's the male blackbird, look. No doubt he knows what he wants, some mealworms. I mean, this is still early in the morning. Can you see the temperature there? I've got to open this door right up. I'll leave it open a little, but it's so warm. But let's have a look at the tomatoes. Now, this plant looked really sick. I nearly pulled it up. It's got a flower on there now, so good job I didn't. But they're all growing, look. You see there's flowers on there as well. So I'm going to have to start feeding these a bit more. That's the one I bought to replace the other one, but they're both grown. Flowers on that one. Now, I didn't know whether these were getting enough water. These are peppers, but they seem to be. I don't know whether I've actually mentioned, but look, I've put my watering system on, and I bought those little ends, and you can regulate the water a bit more. That seems to be working. This thing, I can see that growing. If I sit on the seat in the garden, I can see that thing growing in front of my eyes. That, it is grown through that tray and up there in 3 days now. You can see it growing in front of you. Now I'll let it grow through there, because I'm hoping if we're lucky enough to get any fruit, vegetable, you can, whatever, I can rest it on there hopefully. Now look, there's a flower down there, so we are going to get some cucumbers. Well, don't count your chickens before they're hatched, Graham, that's the trouble, isn't it? Anyway, let me switch this water system on and just show you. Now this might look a bit complicated, and to me it is complicated. I have to think about this for a little while before I can get it going, but if I take that cap off, let's put that down. If I take that cap off, this is to the watering system, and it's permanently on because you rely on this, and I've got it watering 5 minutes twice a day at the minute. It's only a dribble, but if I switch that to on now, we should hear that click over. There you go, the pipe's moving. I think the water's coming out. Let's go and have a look. Right, I think you can see there, look, the water's dripping out there at a bit of a rate. Now I did have it going into the pots, but I changed it to there because it was so dry. Look, that one's running, see that? There we go, there's the other one. I think I've got them all about the same amount now, and you can actually adjust them. So, well, that one you can't see because it's right in the, is that coming out? Yeah, look. Now I have found this is more reliable for me because I'm not very reliable. There's that one dripping a little slower. Anyway, let's let it go. They're all growing all right. Where's the one in the triffid? There it is, look. But that's growing brilliant. Right, now I've set that back to 5 minutes, twice a day, look, 12 hours for 5 minutes. I'll just screw that cap back on. There we go. Now I forget to put these on, look. Lovely, all different colours of poppies. Now they've been a bit dashed by the rain, but look at the colours there. They were beautiful before we had all that rain. I'll forget to put them on. I hope you've enjoyed just this few minute video. I don't want to bore people with the garden, but it's so nice, especially when you get out in the morning. When I get sorted out, I've got to pick those strawberries. I think there's going to be enough there for me and Wendy to have strawberries and ice cream. It's not doing my diet any good. It's too nice, it's not my fault. Right, if you've enjoyed that video, I'm happy with that. Please comment. And it's nice to see what other people are growing and how the garden's going, but I thought I'd just do this because things are changing so fast, growing so quick. Well, look after yourselves, and me and Wendy will see you soon. Bye. And this is Gray's Dew. Now here is a good example of egg and bacon. We've even got a bee on it there, look, you see that? But look at the lovely colours in that egg and bacon. This is Gray's Dew Priory, founded in the 13th century, and it lasted 300 years, well nearly, dissolved October 1538. I'll try and freeze that. mean, this place is in ruins, but there's still some nice bits to look at. I know we've actually visited here before. We thought we might get a better look. You can see the size of the ruins, look. There's Wendy and Paul in the distance, but there's still a fair bit here. That's the busy main road, look, from Loughborough. Now Wendy and Paul and myself went out for a cheap carvery. It were nice. And anyway, I made them come here because it was an excuse for me to play with my drone, look. We were there for quite a while. It were lovely. We had a good time, really. You can see there through the ruins, look, there's a railway bridge. Another nice spot. And the canal's there as well. I mean, the canal's dry. Well, the railway's not got any rails. That's all been shut down years ago.